couple of days ago, I watched a video in which a computer scientist and their latest invention, which was somewhat of a humanoid, he was having a conversation, and this humanoid, which was a woman that he was talking to, were going back and forth, were having an intelligent conversation. And as I looked at it, this humanoid looked and acted relatively real. And if I was thinking, if this is where we are at right now, then we are very close to the point where we may be changing with robots at any point in the near future. In fact, the scientist had indicated that he could see the day soon that robots will be prevalent in many jobs, such as taking care of the elderly and things of that nature, because it's getting to the point where they are being able to feel and to see and to react to the emotions of the human. And the technology that they were talking about that would spur this on is called advanced neural networks. And this has been pioneered by Google's AlphaGo. And the program is, let me tell you a little about it. It says Google's AlphaGo program recently defeated the world's second-ranked player of Go, a vastly more complex game than chess, marking an important milestone in the development of artificial intelligence. But equally important was Google's revelation that one of its robots has developed the ability to pick up objects in ways that had previously only been identified in cognitive life forms. Both advances were brought about by the development of computational models based on the human central nervous system, which is particularly well suited to certain aspects of AI, or artificial intelligence, such as the pattern recognition and machine and adaptive learning. To solve complex problems, several different computational techniques are being used. One of the most prevalent methods, and the one used in Google's AlphaGo, has been advanced neural networks, or ANNs, modeled after the human brain. This success is partly thanks to Google Brain, a network of 16,000 computers with some 100 billion connections. Unlimited access to Google's cloud computing allows users to obtain programming without hosting the network's computing capacity on their individual devices. Well, the reason why I bring this up is because I do not see this as a world defined as for the last days in the Bible. And as many articles I have read about artificial intelligence and where they are headed and how close they have got to emulating a human being, along with emotions and the ability to help others, and even stating to the point that these robots will become mainstream, walk among us, and be like ordinary people within a very short amount of time. And let me remind you, I don't read these crazy mixed up magazines that try to manipulate and sensationalize the technology of the future. This article that I just read to you was from Stratfor. And I've read other things such as this from other intelligence magazines, or whatever the case may be, that tell the same story. In fact, I read about Anne on other sources, from other sources, before the Stratfor report came out. So I take it very seriously. I do believe that we're around the corner in having robots that actually can perform almost in the same way that humans can. It won't be that long till they'll be able to outperform humans. And I've read many magazines, or many, should I say, articles that have said that they will even exhibit human emotion before too long. But I really don't see that as something that the Bible does support. I really don't see us getting into a world in which that will exist. And here's another article that I want to bring to you. It's about how wars will be fought in the future. And this is another article from Stratfor. I don't know if it's in the free section or whatever the case may be. If you get a chance to look at it, go to Stratfor and see if it's a free article. But the article is entitled, "What the Next Arms Race Will Look Like." And the reason why I want to bring this up, because this is really kind of a scary scenario that they are presenting. And let me go ahead and read portions of it to you. It says, a new arms race is unfolding between the world's great powers. Hypersonic missiles, which are both accurate and extremely fast, stand to change the face of modern warfare by rendering the current generation of missile defense systems ineffective. As competition heats up among Russia, China, and the United States, to be the first to deploy hypersonic missiles, each will become more vulnerable to attacks by the others. If tensions rise, so will the risk of preemptive strikes among the long-time rivals. Hypersonic missiles travel at least 5 times the speed of sound. Only a few other man-made devices are capable of reaching hypersonic speeds. But there are some difficulties with these weapons, so that's why it hasn't been introduced sooner. It says, first, it is difficult to create a weapon that can reach hypersonic speeds while enduring the stress and extreme temperatures of hypersonic flight. It is harder still to ensure that the weapon can maintain those speeds for an extended period, enough time to reach its target. Second, high velocities can make a hypersonic vehicle sensitive to changes in flight conditions, resulting in instability in the missile's airframe during flight. Coupled with the fact that high speed leaves less time to course correct, this instability can make guidance and hypersonic missiles problematic. Finally, hypersonic vehicles' actual flight paths often do not match the predictions researchers derive from ground tests and theoretical models, lengthening the process of development. But despite these obstacles, hypersonic missiles have some considerable advantages. Their speed enables them to reach their targets much more quickly than other missiles and to better penetrate enemy defense systems. Those with gliding capabilities can also cover great distances, enabling one country to strike at another from farther away. Guided hypersonic missiles would be more accurate than traditional ballistic missiles, and they could conceivably be armed with nuclear warheads, becoming a strike asset or a deterrent in nuclear warfare. Now, all three top nations, United States, China, and Russia, are close to placing hypersonic weapons in their mainstream arsenal, but the U.S. and China are neck and neck. Russia is a distant, or is a, should I say, a medium close third. But here's the real problem for most of the world. It says, as the world's biggest powers race to build up their hypersonic arsenals, the nature of battle will fundamentally change. Missile defense systems will struggle to counter hypersonic flight, making targets, especially large naval warships, more vulnerable to attack. In time, this could drive the development of directed energy weapons, such as high-powered lasers or microwaves, as a possible way to countering hypersonic missiles. But as has been the case for revolutionary military technologies in the past, the best defense will be to destroy the missiles before they can launch, increasing war planners' emphasis on offensive actions. Now here's the real scary part. It says countries will have an incentive to launch preemptive strikes against their enemies to knock out hypersonic missile caches before the missiles can be deployed. Moreover, guidance systems, along with command, control, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance networks, the weakest components of hypersonic missiles capabilities, will become critical targets. At the same time, states with hypersonic missiles and the bigger offensive advantage they bring will have less need for the stealth technology to prevent or to penetrate enemy defenses. Now, the end intelligence analysis for this is that it will potentially contribute to a greater uncertainty and instability in the long run of most, if not all, countries, but especially for those who do have nuclear weapons. And let me give you an example. Let's say, for instance, India, who does not have hypersonic technology, will now be forced to make calculated guesses as to regard to others of the enemy who may have hypersonic technology, such as the United States, Russia, or China, may strike. So the bottom line is they're going to have to, they could possibly bring about a preemptive strike in order to get the first shot off before the hypersonic missiles are shot off. One thing you should recognize is that the technology is out there to knock down any type of ballistic missile that might have a warhead, nuclear warhead on it right now. In fact, both the United States and Israel both have technology to knock down a ballistic missile with a nuclear warhead on it. But at present, there is absolutely no technology that can knock down a hypersonic nuclear weapon. And there's nothing on the horizon that indicates that there will be an effective weapon, other than the fact that lasers are now being experimented with. And conceivably, they very well may be able, in the long run, be able to put down these hypersonic missiles. But again, this technology right now is only in the hands of the United States. And a couple of the countries, I believe China is also experimenting with it. But the United States has the biggest jump. But the point of this article is that this could potentially, the fact that the haves and the have-nots could be forced to make calculated judgments as to whether they think it will be necessary to stage a preemptive strike upon possibly a nation such as the United States, Russia, or China in order to get the first jump before these hypersonic missiles are deployed. So with this new technology, we are looking at something that, in fact, they're saying that this technology and these weapons will be integrated in the United States military as early as 2020, with China not too far behind and Russia a few years down the road. But nobody else in the pipeline right now has that type of technology. I'm assuming that Israel will be somewhere in the next stage. But as I said, the point of this whole article is that there's a fear that because of this advanced weaponry, that some of these nations who do have nuclear weapons could try to deploy a preemptive strike in order to prevent these missiles from leaving the ground. But these are just a few of the things I wanted to bring to you because it just seems interesting to me that some of the technology, we're getting to the point to where I believe that the technology that we're about ready to encounter could, I believe, surpass what the Bible shows that will come about in the last days. I simply can't believe that this can go on much longer before the Lord raptures the church and the tribulation period starts. Of course, that is analysis of my own, and others may not share that, but that's simply the way I look at it. Because I simply can't see how what they're saying is going to be mainstream by 2030, and certainly by 2050, can possibly have a place in Bible prophecy. But only the Lord knows when He will rapture His church and when these other things will take place. And if you don't know the Lord, today is the day of salvation. 150,000 people die every single day. The Bible says that the vast majority will end up in a burning hell. As I look at this technology, I can't foresee that we will be here that much longer. But if you die before that, the Bible says that if you don't know Him, you will end up in a burning hell. I would encourage you to come to the Lord as quickly as possible. And you Christians, people that who are going to go through this tribulation period, you're going to miss the rapture, and certainly are going to may have some information. But you know what? If you get them a copy of my Tribulation Period Survival Guide, that will give them a tremendous jump on what they can expect when the tribulation period does begin. And most importantly, it tells them how they can come to the Lord. So if I were you, I'd click up on the left-hand top corner of my screen and click for the free Tribulation Period Survival Guide that you can download, or go down to my description site and find out where you can get a paperback version. If you leave these friends and lost loved ones to the world, they're going to tell them to take the mark of the beast. Don't let that happen to them. Well, this is Terry Malone with the Calvary Prophecy Report.